On today's episode, we're going to be discussing celebrity lighting designs for luxury garages. So if you've got a nice garage, or perhaps you're looking to do something a bit special, then keep watching this video. Hi there, I'm James. I'm one of the directors here at Astra Lumos, and on today's episode, we're discussing celebrity lighting designs for luxury garages. Now, when I think of the word a luxury garage, generally the building is very nice, but also it's probably quite critical what's inside the garage. Now, my knowledge of cars, racing, that sort of thing is average. Probably maybe a little bit more above average, but I'm not. I like cars. I like vintage cars, particularly vintage Porsches. So I've got a relatively good understanding that if you have a vintage Porsche or you have a vintage car or just something that you're very proud of, three things tend to stand out in my mind, and that's humidity, cold, and security. So if you're about to embark on this adventure, the adventure of adjusting, creating, improving your garage, and you are looking after your vintage or precious vehicle, my first things first would be make sure your garage is sealed pretty well. Put a dehumidifier in there or a humidity controller so that things like water in the fuel, water in the oil, condensation, that sort of thing doesn't happen. There is a risk of it becoming too dehumidified, and some of the leather might begin to crack. So there is a fine balance to make. However, most buildings aren't that well sealed, so just a standard dehumidifier sort of running all day every day will generally be enough to pull some humidified air in, but keep the majority of it out, keeping your leather in good condition without letting condensation and stuff work its way into the engine. Secondly is cold. Some of the luxury garages we've done have had underfloor heating just to make sure that things don't really get below sort of 10-12 degrees. And then the really nice ones also have an air conditioning unit in there so that you've got dehumidified or air conditioned cool air, keeping it from getting sort of above 35, just to keep it in that sweet spot with the air in a good condition. And then finally, generally if you've got a luxury garage, so you've got a nice luxury car, vintage car, security. So obviously you've got your sort of standard floodlights, motion detectors, intruder alarm, CCTV, those sorts of things, all the sorts of things that we've helped our clients with. But those would probably be my three key things. And then once you've got those three critical systems, shall we say, in place, then we would say, right, now how can we, first of all, how do you want to use your garage? Is it for storing your car? Is it for storing your vintage vehicle? Or, like I said on the party barn video, actually is your luxury garage more of an entertaining space? So if it's an entertaining space, forget those three core things because you don't really need them other than the heat. I mean, obviously if you want to have a party in a luxury garage, probably want some warmth in there if it's in the winter. But obviously if it's to do with your car, how can we light your car up best? So recessed LED tape, that sort of thing, some uplights, some downlights. Perhaps you've got your sort of certificate of authenticity framed, and you want sort of as you walk in, just sort of throwing ideas out there, you walk in on a motion sensor, your authenticity certificate sort of lights up in the corner, and then after delayed, your car lights up in the middle. We've done things like that for people in the past. Or perhaps you just want sort of recessed LED tape, just to give you a nice warm glow throughout the whole building. I mean, once again, if you've got a blank slate, we could be here for hours just discussing how to best light your car, how to use the space. I mean, we've had people who have had in their garage, they've had sort of like vintage motorbikes or MotoGP bikes that have one series, so they've had those wall mounted, and then we've had to light that with sort of the signature of the rider on a certificate or on a piece of clothing underneath. as I said, I mean, we could be here all day. Short answer is, how do you want to use it? Is it for storing a car? If it is, humidity, cold, security. If it isn't, cold, so warmth. Do you have sort of like a bar area, that sort of thing? Do you want the bar lit? Do you want, I mean, how far do you want to go in? So if you're looking to do something special with your garage, perhaps you just want to light the outside, and you just keep sort of your day-to-day run around out of the harsh environments like my father does, then by all means reach out and we can give you a hand. Hopefully that makes sense and that's answered more questions than it's probably created. Otherwise, as I said, reach out. And then on that note, I will see you on the next video.